It's weird?
Yeah.
Does it give you a lower and upper?
Yeah, mine says
Yeah, that's okay.
so then what do I
Don't worry about it. You can either erase it or you can put something, if you want to put, just go up to it and put in -1. Okay. Okay, so here's the thing. What if I only have one z-score and I want to find the area below or above it? So if I have one z-score and I want to find the area below it to the left of it, so first of all, this is what we're going to do. You're going to draw it. You're going to shade everything. If I want to go below that number, you're going to shade everything all the way out to forever, just like we did here. But now I need to know what's the number way over there to the left? Like on the number line, way over there. What is that number?
Like infinity.
Like infinity, but it's negative infinity. So it's negative infinity. You want to put negative infinity in here. Good. So really, this is negative infinity up to your z-score. In your calculator, if you want, instead of negative infinity, you can just use any large negative number. That works just fine. So what's your grandmother's age? How old's your grandmother? 73. Perfect. You can use negative 73. That's plenty large enough. That's close enough to a negative infinity for our purposes. So it is negative infinity, but instead of using negative infinity, if you can't type in negative infinity, if you want, you can do negative, 800 if you want. But you can do negative 73. That's plenty large enough to infinity. And then what if it's on the right? What's the z-score far this way to the right? What's that number way over there? Infinity, positive infinity. So this would be positive infinity. So it would be, you do normal CDF of 1.02, comma, positive infinity. But to type in your calculator, I think some of you know how to do E99, you can do that. Or you can just pick any large number, like 73, big enough. That works. Right? Or you can just do 100 or 500, that's fine. Good? Okay. So here's an example. First thing I'm going to do, so this is what I want you to do. Do exactly this. I want the area to the right of z equals negative 1.14. Draw a hill, and then draw the ground below it. And then right around the middle, put a tiny notch, not a big line, just a tiny notch where the center is. Good. Now my z-score is negative 1.14. Is that going to be on the right side or the left side? Left side. It's negative, right? It's going to be over here. So somewhere on the left side, put in negative 1.14, and I want to the right of it. So shade the area that you want. Shade it. If you want, you can just use hash marks, it's totally fine. But shade that. Now, what's my right z-score? Infinity. Everybody on board?
Yes.
Great. So I'm going to do normal CDF of negative 1.14, comma, well, I don't have infinity on my calculator, so I'm just going to pick a large number, like 73. Perfect. And you will get 0.8729. What does that mean? It means that 87.29% of the population is more than is more than negative 1.14 standard deviations from the mean. Or has a z-score larger than negative 1.14. Yeah?
Why does any large number, why can we plug in any large number? Why does it not affect?
Because standard deviations, if you go out 3 standard deviations, that's 99.7% of the population. If I go out 4 standard deviations, that's almost 100% already. If I go up 5 or 6 standard deviations, that's basically 100% of the population lies within 5 standard deviations. You're not going to find anything that's like more than like 6 or 7 standard deviations above or below the mean. So really, by the time you get to like 6 or 7 standard deviations away from the mean, there's really nothing out there left. There's like almost 0%. Yeah.
So for these, we don't round?
No. So for these, I want you to give me 4 decimal places.
Okay.
So your area should be 4 decimal places. Your z-scores, when you compute z-scores, needs to be 2 decimal places. If you use z-scores, if you compute a z-score and you give it 3 decimal places, you will get it wrong on Connect Math on the homework. And you will bang your head against the wall, and you'll be very frustrated and upset. So just don't do that. So on your notes, write down, round all z-scores to 2 decimal places only. Round all areas under the normal curve to 4 decimal places, because it's going to want that.
And it wasn't like a
Okay.
issue either, because it was like, that was the answer that they gave us, was like 2 or like a certain amount of decimal. Oh, it was like the last 2.
Okay. All right, so real quick question. We're going to do this one together. We're doing this one together. Everybody do it. Left z-score, write in what the left z-score is. So you've got your picture. You've got a number already in here, 1.73. Already shaded to the left already for you. Write down what the left z-score is, write down what the right z-score is, and then fill in what normal CDF of blank, comma, blank should be and the answer. So everybody take a minute and do this. Okay, so everybody should have the left z-score as negative infinity. The right z-score is 1.73. So I would do normal CDF of any large number, like negative 200. Does that seem all right?
Yep.
Comma 1.73. And what did you guys get? 0.9? 9582. Great. So then the probability that z is less than 1.73 is 95.82%, which means that, in words, 95.8% of the population has a z-score less than 1.73. Yes?
9581 also work.
What did it round to?
950.
You gotta know what it rounded to. Okay.
So you have to round it to the 4 decimals.
To 4 decimals. Rounded to 4 decimal places. All right, so your next one, I know it's kind of hard for you folks to see, but it's really important. Make sure you draw your picture, shade, put the, just like I just did. So you folks have 3 to do on your own. First thing is draw your picture, draw your hill, draw the line below, put a little notch in where 0 is, put in lines where your z-scores are, shade them, shade between them, and do normal CDF. So problems 1 through, problem 1, just let problem 1, A, B, and C. Sorry, not that one. All right, so let's go ahead and go over these. The first one. Draw a picture first. So here's my picture. I'm going to put a little notch where 0 is. And I'm going to put in my 2 z-scores. 0. So there's 1 z-score right at 0. And then negative 2.14. Is that on the left or the right? Left. Somewhere on the left. Negative 2.14. I'm going to shade between them. All right. Then I need to find the area. So I'm going to do normal CDF of negative 2.14, comma 0. And And what did you folks get? 4838. This is what you need for full credit on the exam. The picture, the z-scores, shaded between the z-scores, normal CDF of blank, comma, blank, and the answer. This is the bare minimum you need for full credit on this problem. Everybody on board? I need the picture, I need the shading, I need the z-scores, I need all of it. I need the normal CDF, blank, comma, blank. All right, B to the right. So here we're going to go, again, here's my hill, there's my line, 29.29. So 0.29 is going to be on my right somewhere. Yep, and I want bigger than that. So bigger than that on the right side. I'm going to do normal CDF. Let's see, way over here, my z-score is positive infinity, so I'm going to do normal CDF of 0.29 and any large positive number. 500. 500 is good. And everybody got what? 3859. Okay. Last one. Between. So between these two numbers, here's my hill. 1.09, 1.83 is to the right of it somewhere, I don't care where, and shade. So then you do normal CDF of 1.09, comma 1.83, and you got?
Oh, sorry.
1042. Great. Okay, so now we've sort of covered that, I do want to point out one couple things. I'll do lab problem 2 as well. So, did folks do lab problem 2 yet? Okay, that's right. We'll skip it for today. We got other things. We got bigger fish to fry. So one thing I want to point out: the area under the curve is the same thing as probability, and the same as percent of population between those two numbers in that range. For example, area under the curve between -1 and +1 standard deviation is the same thing as the probability that a z-score between -1 and +1, which is equal to the same thing as the percent of population that lies between -1 standard deviations and +1 standard deviations, right? And all those are roughly 68%. So you should be filling that in under in your notes, the very bottom. So now that we've done this first part, how do folks feel? Like thumbs up, pretty good, medium, and not so good. Okay. So where are you folks at? Thumbs? Okay, so most people feel pretty good about it. All we're doing now is adding one extra step to it. So now we're going to talk about applications. With the application, all you do is one extra step, which is you take your x values you care about, you convert them to z-scores, and then boom, just do everything just like we've been doing right here. All we're doing again is taking your x values, convert each x value to a z-score, and then it's just like we've been doing. How do you convert a value to a z-score? You take the value, subtract the mean, divide by standard deviation. Here's an example. An adult has on average 5.2 liters of blood. Assume the variable is normally distributed, standard deviation of 0.3. Find the percentage of people who have less than 5.4 liters of blood in their system. So I'm going to draw a picture. And 5.4 liters, that's more than the mean, so it's going to be over here. Here's my mean, 5.2 in the center. And I want to know less than 5.4. I want this area over here. So first, I need to convert 5.4 to a z-score. So I'm going to take my z-score is going to be 5.4, the number I care about, minus the mean, divided by a standard deviation. And I'll get, what was it, 0.67? So then, I'm going to have a kind of a row below that where I have my z-scores, 0.67. It can be above it or below it, doesn't matter. Just another row where my z-scores are. And what's my z-score way, way, way over here? Negative infinity. Perfect. So I'll do normal CDF. Negative infinity, negative 600. Seems all right. Comma 0.67. And if I do that, I will get, magically, boom, 0.7486. Good? Okay, so you folks, let's work on doing A. So everybody take 2 minutes and we'll work on doing A, and then we'll kind of look at it together.
You go back one slide.
Mm-hmm. Draw your picture, put in your values, find the z-score for each value, and then do normal CDF. Okay, so let's see, 27 and 31 pounds. 27, 31. I need to find the z-scores for each of those. First thing you do, find your z-scores for each of them. How do you find the z-score for 27? Yep, x minus x bar, so x 27 minus what's my mean?
28.
28. What's my standard deviation? 2. I get negative 1 over 2, so negative 0.5. So this is really negative 0.5. Find your other z-score. The other z-score is what? 31 minus 28 divided by 2, 1.5. And then I'm going to do normal CDF of negative 0.5, comma 1.5. What did you get? 6247?
Yeah.
Okay. You finished A, take a crack at B. We should at least do B and C. That's where the other classes at. They did C as well. No. All right, so just do B and C. Take a couple minutes to B and C. Sorry, I know we're going over a little bit, but we really need to at least cover that at least before the weekend. Oh, it's 0.5. Negative, not 1.5. 27 minus 28 divided by 2.
Yeah.
I know it's a detector, but
Check your answers with your neighbors. Yeah.
Oh, it's turned off.
yeah, I could be. I don't know why I was doing it.
Oh,
I probably didn't put it right. Here, put it right. Um, 0.. No, I can't remember. 5987.
This is not how you reading money, not
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the numbers and I'm like, yeah, so again, it's not going through. It's not computing math and nothing. Yeah.
Right, so you know they say a picture's worth 1,000 words? Pictures on your exam are not worth 1,000 points, but they're worth like a good 10, 12 points. So you want to make sure that you have the pictures on your exam. So let's go ahead and go. I'll go over B. I feel like people are done with B, maybe.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so let's see. Need to find my z-score. So my z-score is going to be 28.5 minus 28 over 2.25. So that's on the positive side, somewhere over here. 0.25, line straight up. And I'm going to shade on this side. Then I'm going to do normal CDF. Negative infinity. That's a terrible infinity. Normal CDF of any large number, maybe negative 600, that seems good, comma, 0.25. What do folks get for that? 5987. Okay, so far? And then if you, I'm going to go ahead and do C. If you've done it, then look. If you haven't done it, you keep doing your thing and just look later. So the z-score is equal to good. So again, remember you need to have the picture. Show your z-score, have the picture, shade, normal CDF. All right, great. Have a good weekend. I will see you folks on Monday.